What is up, everyone, and welcome to the last episode of Dink It and Sink It. So for all of you wondering why this is the last episode of Dink It and Sink It, I will explain that to you, to all, 13 of the people that choose to listen to this show. So this isn't going to be a normal episode of Dink It and Sink It. I'm not going to get shit-faced. I am not going to take my shirt off. Although that only happened it only happened during the first episode. But, it's a work in progress. Hopefully that never happens again, but who knows? We're here for a wild ride. So this is just going to be an episode where I talk about where we have been with the show, where we're at, where we want to be, all of that bullshit. Not really bullshit, actually. It's very important. So as many of you know, my name is Elizabeth. I am the creator, the producer, the editor, whatever the fuck else you want to add to that laundry list of titles of Dink It and Sink It. I'm actually still gonna have like not top 10, but like a list of 10 items that I want to hit during this episode. It is just me today. I don't have any guests. I'm currently recording in my office, which actually is a back of like a walled-in back porch. But hey, one day we'll make it, and I won't have to be sitting out here in the freezing cold. So number one, that was my number one, was the introduction to this episode. Number two is the reasoning. So if you follow our Instagram page that my lovely Emily set up, our director of marketing for the team, she posted a photo maybe a week ago with me holding a sign that says DOYA, and basically that stands for Dream Out Your Ass. And number two for this list is the reasoning as to why I chose to name this episode Dream Out Your Ass. And because it absolutely makes no sense. It is not grammatically correct in the slightest. But basically the reason is because I'm going to talk about my dreams and my aspirations and my hopes and a bunch of bullshit from my messy life that somehow relates to this show. So just bear with me. Hopefully you can get a laugh out of this because we're all stuck in quarantine anyways, so might as well. So the episode called Dream Out Your Ass, that was the reasoning. We're going to talk about a bunch of dreamy, sappy bullshit. Anyways, number three, inspirations. So, my inspiration for everything I want to do in relation to this show is mostly on Joe Santagato. And for those of you who don't know who Joe Santagato is, first of all, what the fuck? Second of all, basically he is a YouTuber and podcaster, and he has a multitude of YouTube channels and a podcast called The Basement Yard, and other people's lives, and he produces some other podcasts. He's been on just here and there for the past 4 or 5 years, I would say. And not only is he absolutely gorgeous man, that is not the reason I am inspired by him. Although that is very true. His content is great, he's hilarious, and that's another thing. But the reason I mostly respect him for what he does is I love his dedication, I love his grind. And what I mean by that is he absolutely refuses to be a sellout. He, does not give in to sponsors. He does not give in to, the idea of having clout or the idea of having a big following and things like that. He's a very humble guy, and I want to do everything that he is doing in that sense. When, maybe a year, 2 years from now, when I'm, a big podcaster, maybe a household name, maybe that will happen in 5 years, who knows. I don't want people to be like, she's only big because she bought her followers, or she's only big because she gave into the sponsors. And I really don't want that to be how it is. I really want everything about this show to be as genuine as possible. And what people are listening to, this is the real me. I'm really this annoying in real life. And for everyone that has known me at any point in time in the past 22 and a half years, I'm very sorry. But this is the real me, and I don't want people to think I'm putting on any sort of facade or persona for the show, because that is not me, and that is not how I want to do things. So yeah, that was number 3, inspirations. We love you, Joe. For anyone who hasn't heard of Joe Santagato Studios, anything like that, please look him up, get into him. He is great. I will link everything in this episode. So number 4, I'm just going to talk about the goals of Dink It and Sink It, since it's, ceasing to exist. My biggest goal was education. And as dumb as that sounds, or, as dumb as people think, I'm not trying to be like a teacher or anything, but like just knowledge in general is very important to me. I am a bank of knowledge that no one gives a shit about. I have facts about everything that no one cares about. And I absolutely love that about myself. And, that was part of a big goal that I had, while creating Dink It and Sink It, which honestly I thought of the idea in about, 20 minutes. And, yeah, it just came to be. I just called up some friends. I said, hey, this is what we're doing. Will you come over? We'll drink. I'll take you home. Whatever. Not take her home in that way, because that's weird. Anyways, the first episode was Emily. Emily was kind of the guinea pig for all of this and has been an awesome help and inspiration and stuff getting this started. But basically my goals of this show were to educate people and, have a good time doing it. I wanted people to enjoy learning things. And I know that sounds so cliche. I swear to God, I'm not a kindergarten teacher. I'm not, hey kids, learning is fun. But, we've talked about everything on this show, from the environment to racism to, voting. And we've talked about things like how people have died. We've talked about Nordic mythology. We talked about laws that, are stupid. And while you may go about your daily life and have in the back of your head, like, hey, they talked about this on the podcast, I need to stop using plastic bags. I need to, be more conscious about how I treat people of color. I need to make sure I vote because it is important. But you can also, have random facts about people dying in medieval ages and Nordic mythology and weird laws that no one cares about. And I'm not saying you're not going to change the world with the information about public hanging, but, it's a party trick. If, you can go to a party and be like, hey, did you know this happened? This is how they used to kill people. Did you know they used to feed people to goats and stuff like that? And, you might be kind of weird, but who the fuck isn't? Yeah, so that was really a big goal of mine, is I wanted to educate people no matter what it is. Because I feel like knowledge of anything is better than no knowledge at all. So yeah, we had a good time doing that. We learned a lot of stuff on Dink It and Sink It. I learned a lot about, Nordic mythology. That's an episode that I really had no idea what any of it was. I learned a lot about voting. So it's not like I'm out here to try and preach to you guys that you need to learn, useless shit. Like, I'm out here learning with the people that I have on this show. And I think that's very important. So I'm going to kind of move. That was number 4 on my list, by the way. I'm going to move to number 5, which is kind of like the mechanics, I guess, of Dink It and Sink It, and how I envisioned it in my head and how it actually had turned out. And so, throughout this whole season, which has spanned since January, I've kind of kept a list of everything that I want to be different. And I'm not saying that, going forward, I'm going to complete everything on this list and never have anything I want to change again. Because I think, constantly striving to improve is very important. But there's just a lot of things that I would like to go differently. And yeah, so how I envisioned Dink It and Sink It was we would record an episode about a topic, any topic that we could come up with 10 talking points. And I think that was a good staple to have. However, the rules of the drinking were very unclear. The very first episode, me and Emily were trashed. I mean, like, we took 4 shots beforehand. We were making mixed drinks in the middle of it. I did take my shirt off. Emily did talk in an accent. We did slur our words quite a bit, and it did take us about 30 minutes to get through 2 talking points. But that's besides the fact. It was a good time. It's a good episode. However, it's not consistent with the next, 5 episodes where, like, I'm barely even I'm barely even drunk. We're not drinking on the word that we're supposed to. Oh, that was another thing, having a keyword, which I also think is a good idea. It's not, I don't want to say it's not forced, because no one is forced to be here, I swear. But it was just not consistent in what I wanted to do. And I think the important thing of having, a podcast is just kind of being consistent. So yeah, we're going to change a lot in the future. I am a full-time student and I do work full-time. Well, I did before this COVID-19 shit, but that's besides the point. And so doing an episode weekly was very hard. So that is something also I feel like, people would forget about me basically in 14 days. And I want to be an unforgettable person. As maybe conceited as that sound, I don't want people to forget about me, between episodes. So yeah, that was number 5, basically an explanation of Dink It and Sink It and what I actually envisioned it. And, you can see how it actually turned out. And it's not like Dink It and Sink It was bad. It wasn't awful. It's not everything I wanted it to be, and that is okay. So yeah, number 6. This is the good stuff. So for any of you who don't live under a rock, should know who Rhett and Link is, or Good Mythical Morning is. And that's where, Dink It and Sink It apparently, which I did not know, apparently comes from Good Mythical Morning. And so there was slightly unrelated, but there was a band of, and the people in the band went to my high school, and the band was called Hail to the King. And then, they were actually, slightly big, did tours around the state, or Kentucky and Indiana or not. For any of you, I live in Ohio. And then, 2 years after they started to get, kind of big, Avenged Sevenfold came out either with an album or a song. I don't like Avenged Sevenfold, so, an album or a song called Hail to the King. And honestly, that basically kind of killed all of their vibes. It was a vibe killer. And I'm not, obviously, Good Mythical Morning has been more popular and around way longer than I have even been, thinking of doing this. And so I think it's only right, not that I'm stealing their name, but I want something that's mine. Again, that sounds selfish and that seems conceited, but I want something when people are like, oh, did you hear the name of this new podcast? I want people to know that's me. And when people Google me, I don't want some other show to come up. So yeah, moving along with our future plans, this is number 6. We are going to change the name of Dink It and Sink It to the Tipsy 10 podcast. And I feel like it's fitting, it's new, it's fresh, and when people say the TTP, they're gonna know it's me eventually when I get big, which we will. It's fine. So yeah, those are our future plans. We're gonna change some things. First of all, the Tipsy 10 podcast is going to be weekly episodes every single Thursday. Our schedule is still going to be, future plans. Oh, this is actually number 7 is what we're gonna do. So what we is gonna do is, the Tipsy 10 podcast is going to be every single Thursday. And that goes back to me, I feel like week to week. It gives people something to look forward to. If this is what you're looking forward to every week, I am mildly worried, because there's only 10 of you. You could be looking forward to so many other things, such as not being quarantined because of coronavirus. But if this is what you're looking forward to, I do appreciate it. Maybe when I'm big, everyone will look forward to it, because I know I look forward to every Monday when Joe and Danny post a new podcast. Like, I look forward to that, and I really want that to be me. So we're gonna be weekly. The schedule kind of goes like, the first and third Thursdays are going to be normal. I'm going to have a guest on the show. We're going to talk about a topic. We're going to drink. We're going to have a good time. The second and fourth Thursdays of the month is going to be me sitting in my back porch office studio. And we're going to hear from some of my friends. We're going to do ranked episodes, some of like top 10 best this, top 10 worst this. So yeah, we also, I love suggestions. Like, I want to make stuff that people want to hear. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I'd really want to know what she or this person or her friend group thinks about this, send it to me. I can put our email in this, and I would love to hear from everyone, about what are things that you want to hear. So we have a lot of good content, and it's like the occasional fifth Thursday in the month. And so we're going to make those like super duper extra special episodes. We're still working out like what exactly we want to do. And I don't want to give a bunch of like surprises away about what we want to do. So that was number 7, of my list. Number 8. Number 9 is going to take super long. Number 8 is not going to take that long. So we are on social media. You can go follow or subscribe to Psycho Studios on YouTube. And so all of the podcasts for Dink It and Sink It, except for like the last one and this one, are not on YouTube. And I'm going to eventually take those down, just to kind of clean up my YouTube channel. But yeah, if you want to go subscribe to Psycho Studios on YouTube, that will be greatly appreciated. There will be lots of Tipsy Tim podcast content on that channel, along with a lot of other just like extra videos I make of, I do a lot of video edits or a lot of videos of me and my friend group and whatnot. So if you want to go subscribe to the Psycho Studios YouTube channel, and also if you go onto Instagram and search for the Dink It and Sink It podcast on Instagram, obviously that'll be changing soon after this episode comes out, but you can follow our Instagram. We're still going to make posts while we're on break. I don't think I mentioned that. We're going to be on a break. Like Ross and Rachel, we were on a break. We're going to be on a break. So basically, this is the last episode of Dink It and Sink It, and it's going to come out April 24th. I believe that's Thursday, April 23rd, sorry. This episode is going to be out April 23rd, so that's going to be the last episode of this season. And then starting on July 2nd of this year, is going to be when the Tipsy 10 podcast returns, and it's going to be weekly. So I hope everyone is looking forward to that. But basically, we're going to still keep posting during the break. Emily, who, one of my best friends, she was on the first episode. She's going to be on the first episode of Tipsy 10 podcast. She manages our Instagram and any other things like that. Message the Instagram. She would be glad to talk with you about anything that you have questions about. We're going to continue to post things. I'll probably put out some more YouTube content during this break. God knows I have the goddamn time because we're in quarantine for 33 days now. Doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Look for that in the, the middle of the break. So yeah, I think that's about it. We have Instagram and YouTube. as always, you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at emorgs09. So yeah, if you ever want to follow me, ask me questions about the show, that is more than okay. And if you ever want to be on the show or anything like that, I am in Dayton, Ohio, which I know a lot of the people listening to this are my friends anyways. So maybe this will blow up and you'll want to fly to Dayton, which you probably don't ever want to do. But you can always email the show at psychostudios00@gmail.com. Psychostudios@gmail.com was already taken. So psychostudios00@gmail.com. So yeah, that's everything for social medias. Number 9 is just a big thank you to my team. And I know I refer to everything as we, and that's because I really do believe, this started out by myself, and like my team really hasn't had like the opportunity, just because we've been working on wrapping up Dink It and Sink It, but like my team has been so great so far. Emily, thank you a million. Thanks a million. Emily has given me more ideas. She has, put together social media pages. She's contacted people about flyers and sponsors and things like that. And honestly, like, it's making this happen is kind of like a startup business where you have to do like a bunch of shit up front. And, it's not fun. Emily works full time in a hospital. So it's not like she has all the time in the world because she is working. She's about to move to Chicago. So, she has a lot on her plate, and it really means a lot to me that you're still, doing as much as you can to help the show. The next person on my team, Bradley. Bradley is one of the most honest people you will ever meet. He does not give a single fuck as long as you know what is the truth. And it's sometimes comes off as a little harsh, but we all need a little tough love. Yes ma'am, we do. So thank you so much, Bradley, for being absolutely intelligent and educated and helping me come up with great ideas and willing to do anything. I really do appreciate that. And the last person is someone I've actually only met one time in person. And Rayanna. Rayanna, like, we haven't even really been friends that long. Mostly just friends by association, but that's fine. It happens. Anytime that I've needed, like, hey, can you print this off? Or, hey, like, can you fix this so it fits? Like, Rayanna has been there to do that. And I appreciate that a ton. So yeah, it's, as I did mention, like, Rayanna's also about to graduate college in 2 weeks, so holla, good for you. I'm so proud. Yeah, so Rayanna is about to graduate, have a big kid job. Not that she doesn't, because she also works in the hospital. Actually, everyone on my team is an essential worker except for me. So, yeah, maybe that just says something about me, but it doesn't matter. Thank you a ton from me to all 3 of you. I cannot, keep doing what I'm doing without all of you. I'm so excited to see where we're going to be in the future. And when we get big, we'll take care of everyone. And that's something I do say to my friend group, when I get big, I'm taking care of everyone. And I'm not trying to be like, giving handouts, but I think it's important to take care of the good people in your life. And, that's enough off that soapbox, but, and a big thank you to Jordan, who, if you haven't listened to this last episode, Jordan is my fiance. We are getting married, on September 12th. Hopefully, because this corona shit has actually kind of ruined a lot, but that's besides the point. He's dealt with me, screaming into the microphone a lot. He's handled drunk me. He's handled driving people home and has even been on the episode and stuff like that. So I couldn't do what I do without his support. And yeah, so that was number 9. Number 10. This episode's going to be really, really short, but I'm kind of tired of hearing myself talk. Number 10, thank you to everyone that's listening to this right now. Thank you to anyone who has ever listened to any episode or anything that I've ever put out. Thank you to everyone who has shared on Facebook or liked on YouTube or, retweeted or anything like this. Basically all about the fans. I am not going to be anything without, people who support me, people who listen, people who share, people who give me ideas, people who give me suggestions. Like, fans are so, so important. And although I only have an audience number of 13, thank you to those 13 people. I appreciate it greatly. I never would have thought that. I think last February, I recorded a first episode of some podcast that didn't even have a name, and we talked about people dying from trick-or-treat candy and Michael Jackson molesting kids and Momo and anti-vaxxers and some shit. Like, we just talked about a bunch of shit that was random, and I'm just so glad that I've been able to finally zero in on something that I really want to do. So thank you for the support with Dink It and Sink It. Unfortunately, we are moving past this era and time. So yeah, please stay tuned for the Tipsy 10 podcast. We have a lot of stuff that we are excited to share with you. New topics, new things that we want everyone to know. So please go follow the Dink It and Sink It podcast on Instagram. And when that changes, please don't be alarmed. Go subscribe to us on YouTube at Psycho Studios. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at emorgs09. And yeah, so thank you very much. I'm very excited for where everything is going. Please stay safe. Stay safe. If you're an essential worker, thank you. I owe you one when all this is said and done. Drinks on me. And yeah, again, just thank you for tuning in. Please bear with us while we're working on a transition, and stay tuned for July 2nd. I am so excited to share with you the great things that we are working on and that will soon be available for you to listen to. So please stay tuned, be on the lookout for us, and as always, stay thirsty.